May I come in?
Please do come inside.
Good evening.
Good evening, Pulkit. How are you? Please have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Pulkit, you had your lunch today?
Yes, sir.
So what did you have for lunch?
Sir, I had Rajma Chawal today.
You had Rajma Chawal. Why did you eat Rajma Chawal?
Sir, out of the options in my college mess right now, that was the only one that appealed to me. So that is why I ate that.
So now let me rephrase this question and ask why people eat Rajma Chawal?
Sir, personally for me,
Why people eat?
Sir, it is tasty as well as nutritious.
Okay, that's where the thing is nutritious. And understand, you're a doctor. When I'm talking, I'm looking at the nutritional aspects of this khana that you've had. What kind of calories are you getting? How is it making you energetic? That is what we are looking at. Learn to understand what is being asked, and just because you're a doctor, the answer to it will change. Okay. So how many marks have you given till now?
Sir, in total 5 to 6.
5 marks.
Yes.
And do you think marks help in improving yourself, improving your personality?
Sir, I believe that they can sometimes point out some glaring issues that are there, but all in all, I feel that it is more of a confidence building exercise.
Excellent. Confidence building exercise. And apart from it, certain shortcomings are eliminated. So tell me one shortcoming which has been eliminated till now in all the marks that you've given. One common denominator.
So that a lot of times I talk too fast.
You talk to
Fast.
fast. Okay. So before we start this interview, and I would recommend that you start having a eye contact with all the panel members also. Though I'm talking to you, it would be imperative that you talk to the whole panel because each one is interviewing you and is gauging.
Yes.
80% of the time with the gentleman that we're interacting with, and maybe 20% making an eye contact with others also.
Yes.
Okay, I understand that your hobby is
Cricket, football, and watching movies and series based
movies on historical events.
Yeah.
So tell me one movie that you have seen on a historical event which has impacted you dramatically.
So a movie that recently I saw that impacted me dramatically was about the failed 20th July plot, a movie called Valkyrie, about events in Nazi Germany.
Okay. Now I understand that you're an MBBS student and you're a doctor as it is, and you took 2 years of drop before you went for medicine.
Yes, sir.
Took 6 years. 6 years of commitment into medicine. What's the reason for you to migrate instead of giving the best to the medical world? Why are you moving into the IAS?
So my primary motivation to join medicine as a profession was public service, and I believe that this provides me with a wider canvas and more diversity of challenges to achieve my primary objective.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I do understand that you wasted one medical seat. We are short of doctors. And here we have a gentleman who was so worried about his personal ambition that he says, okay, 6 years wasted. The world is, country is denied of doctor. I don't care. I want to serve as an IAS officer. What's your take on it?
So I do not consider that my seat has been wasted because it has, apart from the technical proficiency, it has also provided me with certain qualities and a certain mindset to further my goal of serving the people. Apart from that, I am not running away from my field since I am currently a postgraduate student in GTB hospital.
Okay. Thank you. I enjoyed interacting with you, Pulkit.
Well, Dr. Pulkit, you talked of Rajma as a nutritious pulses. Is it nutritious, more nutritious than other pulses?
Sir, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the exact comparison in the protein.
Except the soya bean. Is it more nutritious? Almost all the pulses are having same protein content around 24, 25, 27. Okay. Why production of the pulses are too low in India in comparison to the cereals?
So the primary reason is the importance given to cereal crops during the Green Revolution and the MSP regime currently, which procures mainly rice and wheat from farmers at a given price. So, from a monetary point of view, farmers find it better and more feasible to cultivate rice and wheat than other crops.
Any other major reason? Do you know in 1 acre how many quintal of the rice or the paddies we gain, we receive, I mean,
No, sir, I'm sorry.
and the wheat?
No, sir.
In case of the pulses, too less. Say the 4 quintal only, whereas wheat is 22 quintal in average, and the paddy is 28 to 30 quintal. Okay, uh, can we move to the other field? You must be hearing these days in the newspaper about the live-in relation. So, can one adult male, he is married, can live in with a woman, a married male?
So, currently, although adultery has been removed from the list of offences, but still such a move can bring about charges of cruelty from the wife of the married person, and such divorce can be granted in such a case.
If the woman is not married, then no problem.
So, but the wife of the married man would go to court and ask the authorities to take action because it is cruelty on her.
Toward his own wife.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Your opinion.
Okay, Pulkit, you went to Japan. What was the thing which you noticed, significant thing which you noticed about Japan?
So the one thing that struck me the most was their humility and the sense of society that they have towards each other, and the sensitivity towards environment as well. Since I saw people as young as 4 and as old as 18 to stay back after school and cleaning themselves the classroom and the corridors.
Okay. And what about the demography or the age profile of the population?
So on an average, there are many more older people of older age than younger age.
What is the percentage? Who is old first of all?
So the technical definition starts at 60 years of age.
In India, yes. In OECD countries, 65.
65, yes.
Okay. So, what is the percentage of elderly in Japan?
Sir, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the exact percentage.
Yeah, it's already crossed 30%. Okay, 33 almost, but anyway. So, what about India? What is the percentage of elderly in India?
So currently it's close to 17 to 18%.
18%. Come on. That means every sixth person you see is old. In this room maybe, but not outside.
On the panel, let me think.
So I believe it would be somewhere close to 12 to 14.
No, it's 9.5%, and by 2047 it will become how much?
So I'm sorry, I'm not aware.
19%. Okay. What is frailty?
So frailty is a bodily condition where the person has a weakened immune system and a physical setup where it is very difficult for him to counter threats that a normal healthy adult would be able to counter.
Yeah, it doesn't have necessarily any disease, but can't get out of bed.
Yes, sir.
No? Okay. What's the business of your father?
So he owns a showroom of electrical appliances.
Okay. So, how are you supporting yourself?
So my current place of education provides me with a scholarship, which is at par with a very good salary.
Scholarship, you are doing a PG?
Yes, sir.
MD?
Yes, sir.
In which field?
So anesthesiology.
Oh, that's where. Okay. Okay, so let's say you administer anesthesia to a person. This is a service you have done.
Yes, sir.
Does this attract any tax?
So yes, it does attract.
How much tax?
So I'm not sure of the exact percentage.
Okay. You can check. In a private hospital, I think they'll charge 18% for this. Okay. So, what kind of tax is this?
So this is a direct tax.
Is it a direct tax?
No, I'm so sorry, sir. It is a part of the GST now, since it is a part of professional tax. That is.
No, it's not professional tax. It's not professional. It is.
So I'll be sure to read up about this
It
specific.
doesn't matter. Since you are medical line, you can be excused on this. It's called indirect tax. Okay. So, what is the GST collection every month now?
So it is close to 80 to 90,000 crore on an average last year.
Okay. Now your information is grossly outdated. And if it was actually 80 to 90,000 crores, you will not get your salary. I can promise you. Most of it, we pensioners will take it. So you will be left with nothing. Okay. It's 1.7 lakh crores. Okay. And how much is the direct tax?
So last year's direct tax was close to 6 lakh crores in total, sir.
There also you are sure not to get your salary. If you give this kind of data, you will be only working and not getting any salaries. Now the direct tax collection is around 18 lakh crores. Okay, it's slightly more in fact than the indirect tax. Okay. Anyway, all the best. Hope you will get your salaries.
Have you heard of demographic dividend?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
What is it? Just tell me very briefly, quickly.
Ma'am, demographic dividend is the supposed benefits that a younger population will have on a country's society and economy. Where the more number of people in the working age group we have, the more is the output and more is the GDP collection.
And what about, have you heard of silver dividend?
So I'm so sorry, I haven't.
Okay, no worries. We were talking about an aging population, right? So we can also be productive, but then you have to design policies to ensure that we can also reap a silver dividend. You come from, you're a doctor, right? So what do you think of the challenge with generic medicines that India is facing?
Ma'am, one of the major challenges that we are currently facing is to promote general medicine so that the common man understands that these are as good as branded medicines in most respects. Another challenge we are facing from the regulatory side is that all batches of medicines currently in India are not tested, and only a sample size of a specific batch is tested, which can lead to adverse effects, as we saw when we exported medicines to Gambia and Uzbekistan, and the cough syrup issue there.
And what do you think about the role of the pharma companies, right? All these that control the branded products, have they been approaching you in the hospital?
No, ma'am, they haven't.
No, but what do you think? Do they play a role in this whole situation that you discussed just now, you shared with us?
Yes, ma'am, they do play a major role in this situation where it is in their own self-interest if branded medicines do not gain traction around the world. And yes, there has been allegations of a certain amount of lobbying in India as well as abroad to not promote generic medicines as a substitute for branded medicines.
So there has been, right? And the generic medicines have saved many lives, even on HIV/AIDS, right? Are you aware of the SDGs?
Yes, ma'am.
Which ones pertain to health?
Ma'am, directly SDG 3 is health for states health for all, but apart from that, a lot of SDGs have indirect relations with health. For example, poverty, hunger, and even gender equality, education, as well as a safe and clean environment.
Very good. Yeah. And what do you think is the main challenge that India is facing in the health sector?
Ma'am, the major challenge that we are facing is a double is a two- is a coin with two sides, where we have a large population that is currently undernourished, and also we are the hypertension and diabetes capital of the world as well, where a section of population is not getting enough to eat, and another section is suffering from problems of improper eating.
And obesity and non-communicable diseases. Thank you.
Pulkit, shall we go back to Japan? Your experience of Japan, it sounds interesting to me, right? So you like history movies. So how do Japanese react to the dropping of nuclear bombs? How do they analyze that? Do you have any idea about that?
So the Japanese have a very different perception of atomic energy than the rest of the world has, since they are the only country that have actually faced.
That's what I'm asking. Not over atomic energy, but the dropping of atomic bombs on them. How do they explain it to themselves?
So I'm sorry, I'm not aware of this
The
exact.
history, were they guilty? Did they start the World War? Did they play an active role in attacking other countries? Is there something which you could mention, or you haven't
So I haven't read about this. I'm sorry.
exposure to that? You must be familiar with international issues, and one country of great interest to us is Iran, right? Right. So Iran has had a historical relationship with India. We have really had. So Iran also has been under spotlight for nuclear issue reasons, right? JCPOA. Do you understand this issue?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
So JCPOA was signed in 2015 between the American and the Iranian governments, where Iran was permitted to have a civil nuclear program. I'm so sorry, it wasn't allowed to have a nuclear program at all.
Nuclear weapons.
Nuclear weapons. And in return, the Americans agreed to lift the economic sanctions that they had placed on Iran. Also, it said that IAEA inspectors would be given open access to the Iranian facilities to check if this is being followed or not. Later, when the administration in the US changed, President Trump walked out of this agreement, saying that we have given up too much as far as Iran is concerned, and they still have a covert nuclear program. Recently, when the administration again changed, the discussion about JCPOA has had again entered into focus, because it was the Democrats in the first place who had signed that agreement.
Right. From India's angle, how should we look at it? Iran's supposed ambitions to be a weapon power, nuclear weapon power, right? And the tearing up of JCPOA in a way. So what should we make of it? Would we be happy with it? Would we criticize that? Would we criticize America, criticize Iran? What is in it for us?
So India has been always against unilateral imposition of sanctions relating to nuclear power, since we have also been through that. And we believe that the CTBT and the NPT are highly discriminatory in nature, and these are the treaties that prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapons program in the first place. Also, we do have a positive and a friendly relation with Iran, which is a very responsible and important part of maintaining peace in our extended neighborhood. So we actually are towing a middle path in this, where we have an ambiguity. We are not talking about this issue too much, the nuclear weapons issue, because we have to maintain friendship with Iran and the West as well.
Right, yeah. Okay, I think I'll leave it at that for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Pulkit. This was great interacting with you. Your formal interview is over. I would just like to know what has been your impression of this interview. How did you perform?
So I cannot say at this moment. I haven't had enough time to reflect back on it.
Okay, good. I'm sure when you go back, you will take cognizance of all these things, and you will be able to analyze your performance. Look at the video; it'll help you. The panel, we found you to be quite definitely physically quite a smart candidate, smartly turned out, everything in place physically. Now, when we look at the cognitive aspects, there's no doubts that you are intelligent for the very simple reason because you're a doctor. And to make it through this 4 years of grind, it's not a simple thing. And the 2 years of struggle that you did through before you reached that need. So it tells that you're a hardworking, quite a focused individual. There's no denials to it. But now let's start looking at you from a different perspective as to your applicability for IAS. I think you are there, but you have to establish your credentials. And how do we see that establishment of credentials is every question that is put to you is not to check on your knowledge, for sure, because it has been already tackled in mains and prelims where you have already passed. Now it is the question of application of these things. And we are not looking in depth things quickly, how do you understand? Like everything is so loaded. I asked you about the movie that you've seen. If you connect that movie with one of your personality traits, I realize, oh, bhai sahab, ye dekh nahi raha, samajh nahi raha, amal kar raha hai. That is what is your personality. Smart people integrate everything with themselves. And that is what the whole endeavor is. Rajma khana, jo kuch, everything is, you're a doctor, you look at. For me as a common man, maybe I'm looking at taste. But when you become a doctor, you're looking at a different, same thing in a different manner. So that is what you really need to understand. And when we questioned you on the aspects of why do you want to become a doctor, join IAS, and after 6 years of struggle, and you gave me that I have certain qualities. Probably had you eliminated those qualities, how analytical, investigative, empathetic, then I would say, oh, he's bringing these qualities with him. But otherwise it means nothing. Because everybody has qualities. Now your time is to show those qualities over here. And we are giving you those opportunities to this whole interaction so that you can showcase themselves. Again, you have time till 27th. Your eye contact, again, initially we talked, therapy, आपने देखा, आप तो डॉक्टर हैं, जब आपके पास मरीज आता है, आप उसको कैसे देखते हैं? पहले उसका हाव भाव देखते हैं, पहले कैसा है, उसकी आवाज़ कैसी है, मरा हुआ है, या जवान है, मुंह में इतना उसमें दम है. Physical appearance, how does he interact with you? He may be very sick, but he still can be very energetic if he is motivated individual. जवान को देखा हाथ कट जाता है, मगर वो रुकता नहीं है. जब उससे बात करो तो तल के बात करता है. That is exactly what is required. That is what is confidence. And that happens when you mentally, you are a strong individual, but you need to demonstrate it over here. सोचिए कि हम सब मरीज बैठे हैं, आप डॉक्टर हैं, सबको फिट कर रहे हो आप, 5 की प्रॉब्लम्स है और सबके सॉल्यूशन निकाल रहे हो आप. That is how when you start looking at it that way, you transform yourself. So start looking at a whole lot of these things. The board did not grill you on alternate medicine. There's huge amount of alternate medicine, huge amount of generic medicine. These are the things which we would like to change in our policies. That's why Ayush has come. That is why generic medicine, Prime Minister is coming with so many yojanas. इन सब पे ग्रिल करने की कोशिश करेंगे. अगर आप इनमें उत्तीर्ण होते हैं, and they realize this guy has got these qualities that if he migrates from his medicine field to this field, and he will be able to contribute. That is what is exactly required. Data is extremely important. Most of the time, when you don't support your answer with the data, it appears that it is emotional kind of an approach. But आप देखते हो, मैं आपके पास आता हूँ तो फटाक से टेम्परेचर भाई साहब 98.4 डेटा, ब्लड प्रेशर डेटा, ECG डेटा, blood count data, everything is data. That is your profession, and when you interact with us, when you bring this data, they were asking about Viksit Bharat, kya percentage, kya tax, everything is data. When you bring that data along with you, then I start understanding, yes, this boy is not only emotional, but he is not only emotional, but he's very logical in his approach. And that is what brings out the scientific temper, and that is what is required to be seen. I just wish to ask, what newspapers are you looking at presently? Are you reading newspapers or with this MD? Because I understand you're doing MD also, so काफी भार होगा आपके ऊपर. But are you reading newspapers? What
Yes.
newspapers are you reading, young man?
So the Indian Express and Mint.
And men? Papers to your eating, but fine. They're the best two papers that you should be reading. I would, if you're reading, that's good. But I think that maybe perhaps next 6-7 days, I wonder whether you can take out from your MD studies. But if you can perhaps insulate from that sphere, start writing answers. When you read Mint, उसमें 3-4 पॉइंट जो समझ में आते हैं उनको लिखिएगा. तो ये अपना इंडियन एक्सप्रेस देखते हैं, कुछ भी नई चीज, आज टनल बनी है जिसके नीचे से आज मोदी जी जा रहे हैं. कल 230 बिलियन डॉलर का इसका चाइना का बजट आया था. ठक ठक पेज के ऊपर लिखा, रात को देखा. Get into all these modes. So when you start collating data and disseminating data in a logical, cohesive, coherent manner, तो बल्ले बल्ले हो जाएगा. That is what you really need to work. Take time. Are you watching Pulkit Sharma वगैरह को देख रहे हो? कुछ टाइम मिलता है आपके पास? Please look at Pulkit Sharma, Shekhar Gupta. Maybe you have some time. 8-10 दिन जो भी हैं. Please see if you when you go to the YouTube, it tells what are they talking of. See the relevant subjects to you. Government policies, SDGs. What is UCC? What is farm law? What is all these things which are happening, Russia, Ukraine, ये सारी चीजें important हैं. It depends. The panel, we asked you a certain set of questions. Another panel may absolutely be on foreign relations, or another panel may just be on medicine. So look at your DAF. Everything is going to flow out of it. Everything. What movie, what hobby, क्या सब निकलता है इसमें से. और अपने DAF को देखिएगा बेटा. Please take some time. Make about 70-80 questions for yourself, write 4, 5 line answers to it, and crisply deal with it. Do remember, if you are a doctor, nothing is impossible for you. You make the dead alive. You are such a capable gentleman. There's no doubts about it. You are a very strong individual. You just need to look into your reserve strength, take this 15 days and go and kill it. Lati sir?
हाँ जी, एक विकसित भारत संकल्प .gov.in वेबसाइट है, वो देख लें. तुम्हें एक बार पहले बताया था शायद मैंने. देखी थी?
Yes, sir.
देख ली थी? ठीक है. that's all.
I just want to say you didn't acknowledge me at all when you came in.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry, love.
It's okay.
Remember.
Right. So you must acknowledge if there's a woman member, lady member on the panel. You can't just ignore me. Yeah. So just be mindful of that.
My apologies to the panelists also. I should have taken care of it. It is important. Please just remember it. And it is important that not only you should learn, but when you have बाकियों से भी बात कर रहे हो तो, so the lady on the panel, she gets wished first, and then the panel. So please do remember it. Thanks, ma'am. I overlooked this thing. That's a very good point, and this is a thing
It
very important.
rarely happens
Very,
that
very
I've been
important.
doing some
Yes.
2-3 times I've seen
No, it's
them
very important.
miss out completely.
I am generally happy with your performance.
Yeah.
I just thought I'll help you, and understand some of these international issues, so that when you formulate your own thoughts to different issues, it might be a kind of useful tool. See, when it's Iran or Pakistan or China or any other country, right? India doesn't force countries to make commitments. Countries make commitments on their own. Iran made a commitment in its discussion to US. We are not there. They made a commitment and signed a document. But it's for them to sign and them to be, don't say disrespect those commitments. We are not part of NPT, but we don't tell everyone else you disrespect NPT. आप अपने जो commitment लिया है, please respect those commitments. So Pakistan, if it has respected the LOC, certain things, and then there's a Kargil, so that's the whatever you have taken up voluntarily, you have made a commitment. Please, and we are not a country which asks you to disregard, or in diplomacy everything is about credibility and respect. If you lose credibility, you're nothing. A country today, we can't do a deal with Pakistan because they have not respected any commitment which they have made. So just I thought I'll help you with that, but otherwise you're
Great.
good.
Any document or anything you'd like him to see? Because these are some important aspects.
At this stage, I am hesitant to give you, but understand basic.
Panchil वगैरह देख लो, Panchil NAM, because these are
What you've been saying.
strategic.
strategic
Yeah. See,
background.
Jayashankar also he explains it well in the modern context.
Yes.
Some of these things are theoretical.
Okay.
Our options are open, and things like that. He'll explain.
WhatsApp window.
So look at that.
Yeah.
On the mobile.
That's a very good info.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoyed interacting with you. I wish you all the
Thank you.
best.
All the best.
Thank you.